Good day and welcome to the Bearded AI Guide. Today we start a new series called Agents Are Easy. And today we will focus on the necessity of planning for agents. Reasoning is the AI's ability to work through a problem step by step. Planning is about constructing a sequence of actions to achieve a goal. A goal could be anything. What the agent does then is plan how it executes the goals. It's going to have a starting position and then a number of functions it will need to execute to complete that goal. And then it will execute each of those functions, in turn passing the output from one function to another, until finally the final output goes to the goal. So there are a few steps to creating an agent. The first is obviously model selection. But not just the model itself, you also want to layer on top of the model that allows it to reason and plan. Or in the case of the new Claude Sonnet 3.5, it appears that reasoning and planning are part of the model. With GPT-4o, this isn't the case. We could not, for instance, use GPT-4o as a reasoner and planner to execute a complex goal. It just doesn't work. I've demonstrated this in previous videos. Claude Sonnet 3.5, however, does have that reasoning and planning, and it can be used off the shelf as an agent. Conversely, OpenAI Assistants, the API, has that layer, or actually with the GPTs as well, has that layer of reasoning and planning, which provides it easy access and can be used as an agent right away. So the first thing we want to decide when we're building an agent is what are the goals that this assistant is going to be completing. In my experience, is generally you want to focus an agent on a particular type of goal and not to be too broad or diverse, because that can get confusing for the agent and confusing for solving the goal of the problem. It will mix up actions and do all sort of weird stuff. What you want to do then is decide what the goal is and then decide what the actions or functions that are going to be used to solve that goal. So if it's search Wikipedia, pull down pages, then you want to have search Wikipedia as a function, download pages, maybe save those pages, etc. And then building the instruction set. The instruction set is divided into two parts. First part is what is the agent's persona, I'll say, or system prompt, if you will. It defines the rules and how it will solve the goal. Could be more specific things like how it uses specific functions, the order of using those specific functions. You could essentially be telling the agent how to plan out its steps. This is a way of assisting, but just making sure that the agent is executing the way you want it to. Typically then you'll also define what rules, what limitations, things to avoid. My personal preference is to use or provide a personality with the agent. This gives the agent a little more character, but it also helps sort of shape out some of those things. Here we are in GPT Assistants Playground. This is available for free from the repository, and setup instructions and other details are included in previous videos. Check them out on the channel if you want to see more. Again, GPT Assistants Playground is modeled after the OpenAI Assistants Playground, following the same theme and structure, but allows you to extend and enhance many more features, allowing you to build your own actions. We're going to look at a simple assistant that is going to use planning for us to build a website. So we're going to build that assistant first, and then we'll start using it to build a very simple website for it. So I've already started writing this assistant. You can see it is here. This assistant is registered with it as an OpenAI assistant on the OpenAI platform, and it's accessed through the API. We're going to give it a friendly name, Python website developer. As always, I'd like to give all the assistants a bit of a background or sort of personality to go along with these instructions. These instructions, though, are really, they're not instructions about the task the assistant's going to be performing, but rather how it's going to be undertaking its tasks, how it's going to plan things, how it's going to operate, essentially. Very much like a system prompt, if you will. So we're going to ask the assistant to build the user's website in Gradio, run the site by running the code with the run app file function, and that's an action I'll show you in a second, and making sure to save the code to a file first. It's going to set in browser equal to true and debug equal to true when it's launching the Gradio app, and these are just settings within Gradio. If you're not familiar with with them, that's fine. They're just ways of actually launching the browser when the radio server runs. After the code runs, share the file name of the code to the user and then ask the user what improvements they would like to make. When you initially first time run the app, use the run app file function, start the radio server and then update. This version, I could not get it to run in debug mode where I could just update the file. I'm going to be working on that. So this assistant, we've added some extra instructions here to just make sure that every time it runs an iteration, it's going to run the code through the run app file function. Okay, so let's just go down and look at the actions. You can see there's a whole number of actions that I've used for a number of assistants. Basic actions or functions that this assistant or agent's going to be using are the install package, the save the code file, and the run the app. All of these two here we've referred to as in the agent's instructions or the assistant's instructions, and the install package is just implied. And actually, I think we could even remove that. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to start by writing a very simple prompt. So here's the simple prompt. The simple prompt is the goal, giving the assistant to execute. The assistant's going to decide how to execute this using those actions or tools that we've given it. And the OpenAI assistant, as I said before, has internal planning structure that will allow it to plan out the task to complete the goal. So let's run it. As I go to the logs, you'll see it's going to start going through, and here it is. It's saving the code file there with the arguments. You can see this is the Gradio code that's getting saved, and then it's running the app file. So it's running the application, and it's coming back and saying it's okay. So in a few seconds, we should be seeing our app running. Okay, so there's our app running. The prompt was allow us to upload a file and then display the file in the table on the side. So let's try this out. File, CSV file, and we can see it loads it and then displays the output. One thing though is it's not displaying this in columns correctly, so let's go back and see if we can fix that. So good, but the columns are not displayed for the data. The data is broken on semicolon. Enter that and see how well it fixes it. So it's updated the code. Let's run the app again. And now it's separating the columns correctly. Looks good. Thank you. So why does it matter? Well, it matters because multiple task execution is essential, almost critical to developing a competent agent and an agentic system. Being able to execute multiple tasks and also repeating those tasks even further enhances the ability of the agent. This enhanced behavior and ability then can be incorporated in complex workflows such as in agentic behavior trees, which I've demonstrated in other videos, which can lead to autonomous agents themselves or autonomous agentic systems. These systems can be incorporated to do some very complex things and very powerful. Demonstrated in a couple other videos that agents can be used to blog, to create PowerPoint presentations, to posting on Twitter, analyzing news feeds, and etc. It's really going to change the way we look at software, interact with software, and how we develop things will change significantly in the next few years. How, I can't say, but it's obvious there's going to be big changes. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.